Hello, my lovely viewers. It seems that we've reached the last two chapters of our story. Would you like to know how it ends? If the answer is yes, let's get into them. Chapter 13: Unwanted Seduction. I stood in the room, waiting for Atem to come back from whatever it was that needed tending to. I leaned against the balcony and smiled softly. We almost shared a kiss together. I sighed softly at the thought. A pair of arms wrapped themselves around my waist. My smile widened as I placed my hands over to one sewn over my abdomen. Something was off though. These hands seemed larger than Atem's. I looked up and froze, my breath hitching in my throat. "Hello, my dear," Zero said, a small smirk playing on his lips. I struggled in his grip as I tried to break free. He chuckled, then picked me up. "Put me down," I squeaked. "As the queen wishes," he said as he sat me into the bed. He knelt in front of me and moved a few stray hairs from my face. "Truly, my dear, you are a desert jewel. Too bad you are wed to the pharaoh," he said, kissing my cheek with his large hand. "Though he doesn't have to know about this," he whispered as he licked my earlobe. He placed butterfly kisses all over my neck, placing his hands on my hips. "Please stop," I squeaked. I used to be a commoner, but even then, I was never touched in such a way. He juggled against my skin as he leaned back. "I'm sorry, my queen, but I can do no such thing. I have craved your petted body since you first walked into the palace. This will probably be my only chance." He moved to the other side of my neck and kissed up to my jawline. This was vulgar, but I was too weak to push him away. I bit my lip as he pushed me down and hovered over me. A small smirk played on his lips as he played with my hair. I can't blame the pharaoh. He chose an excellent wife. His hands roamed my clothed body as I lay pathetic on the bed. But I wasn't going to cry. I was stronger than that. I knew any second now Atem would walk through the door and stop this. I just hoped that this wouldn't go any further before that happened. Atem's POV. I walked into our shared room, running a hand through my hair, and sighed. "Sorry about that, my queen. It was just..." "Atem?" The sight in front of me shocked me to no end. Zero was holding my queen down on my bed. "Zero, what are you doing?" I yelled out at the priest. He quickly got off of Ian and stood from the bed. "Sire, she came onto me first." "Atem, no, he's lying," Ian pleaded. "Are you really going to believe a woman that you've only known for a month?" Zero said, crossing his arms over his chest. I looked at Zero, then at my wife. Zero looked cold, but Ian looked worried and saddened. I walked up to her and smiled softly. "Of course I'm going to believe her. She's not the kind to lie, I said, taking her hand in mine. She smiled up at me, squeezing my hand with her small one. Zero sighed and left the room, cursing under his breath. I sat next to my queen, bringing her into a tight embrace. I'm so sorry, Ian. I should have noticed sooner. She returned my embrace, smiling softly at me. It's all right, Atem. I don't blame you. You're a very busy man after all, she spoke. I smiled and kissed her forehead. I love you, Ian, she smiled, resting her head on my chest. I love you too, Atem. Chapter 14. Sacrifices. Night was drawing to a near as I searched the palace for Zero. I may have let him go earlier, but nothing could save him from my wrath now. No one touches my beloved Ian unless it's me. I walked calmly through the corridors, though my mind was a blazing hell. Atem, what's got you in a blaze? Mana asked as she skipped up to me. I looked at my childhood friend and smiled a bit. Nothing, just something that happened earlier is all, I said, calming down just a tiny bit. She raised a brow, then placed an arm on my shoulder. Do chicken to tell your wife that you want children? She asked. My eyes widened, then narrowed a bit as I looked at her. No, I told her, and she's all right with the idea. We're just going to wait a while longer before we start, I informed her. She rolled her eyes at me, then giggled. Sure. Pharaoh, come quick! Something terrible has happened! A guard yelled as he ran towards Mana and I. What is it? I asked. There are intruders, sire. They're killing everyone inside, he exclaimed. Mana gasped, placing her hands over her mouth in shock. I looked in slight surprise. Where is Ian? Is she safe? I asked. If there were intruders killing everyone, I wanted her safe. She's safe, sire. Don't worry, he said with a reassuring smile. He motioned to follow us as he led us towards the front room. I wondered who was behind all this, but only one person came to mind. Ian's POV. Some of the guards were leading me down a dark and empty corridor. Where are you taking me? I asked, looking between the two. We're taking you to a safe place, my queen, one of the guards said. What? Why? Where's Atem? I asked. He's dealing with the situation, the other guard replied. I ran a hand through my hair and stopped. I have to find him, I said as I turned around and ran back the way I came. I heard the guards calling my name and running after me. But after all those years living as a peasant and a foot thief, I was much faster. I ran through sharp corners and past people who were running for their lives and dodged the ones trying to end the others' lives. Atem! I screamed, calling out to my love. Everything was happening so fast that I never even noticed the man until it was too late. I had run into him. I stumbled backwards and fell to the floor. I'm so sorry. Wait! No, don't! Atem's POV. Mana and I ran into the front room, panting slightly from the long run. The sight before me nearly killed me. Everyone in here was either being slaughtered or were the ones doing the killing. I know some of these men. They are a part of Bakura's band of thieves, I growled. Mana looked at me, more shock written on her face. Bakura! She exclaimed. I nodded my head in reply. Well, 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 look what we have here. If it isn't the Pharaoh, a familiar voice spoke. I looked towards the voice, my eyes widening in fear. Bakura was standing near the throne with a knife at Ian's throat. Let her go, Bakura, I yelled. Why should I do that? Then you just attack me, he said with a smirk, sarcasm dripping from everywhere. Let her go and fight me, you coward, I yelled. That hurt his pride. He snarled at me as he tossed Ian to the side, causing her head to hit the floor hard, knocking her out. Bakura drew an ivory knife from his sash and made his way to me. Mana, get out of here, I commanded. She nodded her head and ran back down the corridor. I grabbed the knife from a dead guard's hand, holding it up in defense, just as Bakura brought his down towards me. We swung at each other, hoping to hit the other. We threw punches and kicks. This was a fight to the death, and I wasn't going down that easily. I had pushed him back a bit, giving me time to steal a glance at Ian. But I guess I didn't push him far enough, because he swept my legs from under me, causing me to fall. He stood above me with an evil smirk. Looks like I win this battle, Pharaoh, Bakura said as he raised his ivory knife. I closed my eyes and waited for the impact. It never came though. The only thing I felt was the liquid being splattered on my face. I opened my eyes and gasped, my heart shattering to pieces. Right in front of me was Ian. She was smiling grimly at me as blood ran down the side of her lip. Bakura's ivory knife was sticking out of her back, blood pooling from the wound. I looked at her in shock as I cut her cheek. Ian, why would you do this? She coughed. A bit of blood splattered on my cheek again. I did it because Egypt needs its pharaoh, she said, leaning her head into my hand. She grunted in pain as Bakura forcefully pulled the knife from her back. Well, I guess this will have to do. I'll see you again, Pharaoh, and next time I'll kill you, he said as he and his men left. I didn't care. I sat up, pulling Ian onto my lap. Her blood poured onto my lap, but I didn't care. You're going to be okay. Don't worry, I said with a soft smile, stroking her hair gently. She got up more blood, then smiled at me. I'm sorry I couldn't do more for you, my love, but I have to go. The gods are calling out to me, she said, her eyes dropping. My smile faded as I shook her lightly. No, you can't leave yet. Remember, we haven't shared a real kiss yet. It's too soon for you to go, I said, tears running down my cheeks. She cupped my cheek lightly, continuing to smile up at me. I love you, Atem. You'll forever be the one that completes my heart, she said. Then her eyes closed and her breathing stopped. Her hand fell from my cheek and lay limp on her stomach. I cried as I held her soulless body close to me. I love you too, Leanne. You don't know how much I loved you, I whispered into her ear. There you have it, guys. This is where our story ends. I hope you guys enjoyed it as I enjoyed reading it to you. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more, subscribe, hit like, and turn on the notification bell so that you know when the next story will be posted into my channel. Thank you so much for listening to me, guys. I'll see you on my next session. Bye, guys.